What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Coin Chat number 9. This is the 5 or 10 minute show designed to help you guys make more Bitcoin. That's why you're here. That's why I'm here. That's our number one goal. I want to go over a couple things today, but before I get into that, I always have to give that disclosure. I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Just want to throw that out there. I'm just sharing my opinion, my view, my analysis, once again, with that goal of helping you make some more Bitcoin. I want to go over today, we're going to be looking at Bitcoin price action, both on a shorter time frame and then also kind of this bigger pattern that I like to look at. I always like to look at things from a macro perspective and understand where we are big picture in terms of Bitcoin USD. And then past that, I always also like to highlight one person from the investing or trading community here in crypto to give you guys a different perspective other than just what I'm doing. Give you guys kind of a more well-rounded approach and things you can implement to your game. Once again, like I always say, to earn more Bitcoin. So I want to give a quick shout out to everyone in the live chat right now. We already have a pretty big audience. This is sweet. Audience is growing. What's up, Alex, Carl, Josh, Frank? Yo, what's up, Tom? What's up, Thomas? Giselle? I'm probably saying that wrong. Might be. What's up, Andy? What's up, guys? Saju, Jordan. All right, I can't even keep up. What's up? What's going on, guys? If you have any questions, I'm going to answer those at the end. I like to keep it short. Like I said, 10 minutes, so throw those in. I'll get as many as I can at the very end. Throw them in. Coin, strategy, anything going on in the space, I'll cover it. And yeah, also throw a like, throw a comment, throw a subscribe. I have to say it, but it helps it get more views and it helps you get your questions answered. And also I can continue to do these as much as I can. So let's jump right into it. I see you guys in the chat, so keep firing the comments in. Let's start it off with Bitcoin and what's going on in terms of right now and also bigger picture. I'm going to start with the bigger picture first. So I posted this historical pattern or a fractal, really just kind of a similar look that we saw back in September when we had that correction or really that, the total FUD all the way down to 2,900 or 3K. And a lot of people were kind of, talking about multi-year bear market, very similar to the multi-year bear market talk we saw at 5K in this correction. When I posted this, we still hadn't really marked our first higher low, but that's kind of what I was calling for. And the focus here is on that green question mark. It's on the breakout of the downtrend resistance. This was just 1 week ago, and we were at 10,400. Zooming forward and fast forwarding to today, looking at some smaller time frame where we're really at. If you've been following me on Twitter, I posted a video talking about how I determined this support level, why I wanted to go long here. And then also just today or yesterday, I posted kind of this smaller time frame setup, which is really another fractal. So what I'm meaning by fractal, if you're not following, it's just a similar historical pattern. And we use these to kind of identify a possibility of what could happen. TA is never going to give you an exact, it's never going to give you a guarantee, but it can help you identify asymmetric risk-reward opportunities. So that's what we looked for here, and we have broke out. So right now it's following the exact same pattern. The target for my trade right now on Bitcoin, entering down here, I'm looking to take profits up here at 11.4. And this area lines up perfectly. I'm going to zoom out. This area lines up perfectly. This horizontal resistance here at 11.4, it aligns right here with the fractal of that downtrend resistance. So that's the most important zone. That's what all the analysts, all the traders, and everyone's kind of talking about on Twitter. Everyone's talking about this log downtrend line for the ultimate kind of the most reassuring confirmation that this reversal is legit and this is not a bear trap or a bull trap, I should say. So that's Bitcoin. Moving past that, I wanted to cover two more things, guys. I wanted to also cover this trading or investing tip from Cashboy. I always like to bring someone else on, give you guys some different perspective other than things that I'm doing. So you can add kind of other people's perspectives or other people's thoughts into your game plan to earn more Bitcoin. I think the way that I've learned how to invest and to trade is taking advice or taking little strategy pieces or methodologies from investors. Everyone kind of has a strength, or everyone does certain things better. So Cashboy has a thread that he posted that really resonates with me. He called it some advice for newbies, but I think it applies to people that have been in here for a long time. So he says to start out, don't over allocate. And then I'm going to kind of highlight this one. So he says to start out, do not over diversify either. It will be the death of you. Putting yourself into over 10 to 15 alts to start tends to mean you read a bit about some, but once you're in, you likely won't be able to watch news, monitor charts for all of them at once. The reason I wanted to highlight this is because it actually lines up so nicely with what's actually happening in the market right now. So, I agree with this completely, and this is pretty much the exact same strategy that I follow in my trading portfolio. I am invested in more than, let's say, 5 or 6 alts, but for me personally, I found the exact same thing. If I try to trade more than 3 or 4 alts at a time, so I'm looking to be in 1 to 4 trading positions at a time, if I try to do more than that, and you guys know it, I'm on here all day, I'm looking at charts all day, I'm on Twitter all day, I still can't keep up. So what happens is, let's say you do move into 10 or 15 alts right now, and even if you have conviction, all those setups, what happens, there's different catalysts, so there's different triggers and there's different levels for all those positions. So even if you have even if you have conviction, all 10 of those ideas, if one starts to move against you, let's say it's the one you haven't been tracking as much, you might have a tendency to maybe close out a little bit early just because you haven't been following the news. You don't really know what's going on there. You might lose a little bit of conviction. In order to really monitor and really manage those positions as effectively as I think everyone should and as effectively as I personally can, I try to keep it limited to 1 to 4. I move into the positions, the trades that I have the most conviction in, follow those trades, and once I close one out, then I am ready to take or look for the next opportunity. So this aligns perfectly with what I do. I think it's such solid advice, and this entire thread is really nice. So Cashboy, shout out. I put his Twitter link below. He's been pumping out some really nice content. This thread caught my eye, so I wanted to bring it to you guys. Hopefully it helps you make some more Bitcoin because it also resonates with me. The other reason I wanted to bring this up is because it aligns perfectly with what's happening in the market right now. And I always use ETH Bitcoin as kind of a timing mechanism for the entire alt market. Now, obviously, other alts don't care about what's happening with ETH. That's pretty easy to figure out, but I use this as a rough timing guide for alts. And the reason I use it for a rough timing guide as alts is because this was the peak of the last alt cycle up here in June. This was the beginning of the current alt cycle back here in early December. This was when I filmed the last coin chat. And what's happening now is though there's a bit of a disparity between where alts are all in their current cycle. So ETH has only retraced about 30 or 40%. But some other alts have already been suppressed kind of back down to their December 5th, December 7th kind of supports. So a lot of alts are in different parts of their cycle. So this timing guide isn't, in my opinion, it's not going to work as well right now. There's a lot of alts that are kind of in different situations or in different, let's say, segments of their actual alt cycle. So going back to what Cash said and talking about over-diversifying, if you're in 10 to 15 alts and they're all in a different point of the cycle, let's say 5 of them are at their all-time low support, they're at that beginning of the alt cycle support, 5 of them are actually still maybe overpriced, maybe they're up where ETH is, it's going to be really hard to kind of to monitor and to be taking profits on the ones that pump versus the ones that are still bleeding out. So it kind of, this was very timely advice. It aligns with what I do. So I appreciate you putting that out, Cash. And I wanted to highlight that. Once again, hopefully it helps you guys make some more Bitcoin. So I'm going to leave it on the Bitcoin chart. We'll answer some questions. We have a few minutes here. I'm going to get through as many of these as I can. What's going on, guys? I know Thomas had a question you want me to take a look at, and that is it. Jordan said, smash the like button. I agree, man. Throw a like, throw a comment. I don't care what you guys say, but do something and get subscriptions so I can get your questions answered. Thomas' first question said, would it be wise to short ETC on BitMEX at the time of the snapshot? Look, I can't give advice on BitMEX. One thing I do want to say about ETC, it's not going to have the same outcome as Z Classic. And this is my own opinion, right? This is not definitive, but it's not going to have the same outcome as Z Classic after the snapshot. And the reason being is because there's actually still development. There's actually still a community with Ethereum Classic as opposed to Z Classic. All the value is pretty much transferred to Bitcoin private. So there's no reason to hold on to your Z Classic anymore. That's obviously why it crashed. Anyone could have seen that, 10 miles away. There's no value there anymore. Ethereum Classic is still going to hold value. All the value of Ethereum Classic isn't being transferred to Callisto. So I don't want to definitively say you should short ETC on BitMEX after the time of the snapshot, but that incentive to hold or to buy Ethereum Classic just to get that airdrop is gone. So Thomas, I like where you're thinking. I can't give advice though, man. Chris said, I'm not going to read that one, Chris. Thanks for keeping it real though. Let's see. Thanks for the kind words, Jack. I appreciate it, man. Cash is getting some love from Colleen. What else do we have, guys? Bo said, what sectors in crypto are you personally most keen on? I see a valid application in so many sectors. Bo, I've said this before, and it's still true. It's still what I believe. The two sectors are the two things I want to focus on. I could list so many, but the two that I want to focus on are privacy and protocols or infrastructure. So that means anything that's a platform, anything that's actually going to host dApps or be its own blockchain, and then also privacy sector. I think that's just something that's lacking in the crypto space. There was an article I retweeted the other day about airline companies using data on you and then charging you more. I don't think people understand kind of the value of keeping things private. And right now, it's kind of one of the misconceptions about what's happening in Bitcoin is, everything's public, everything's extremely transparent. When you first get into the space, it all seems private, but in fact, it's actually very transparent. So I'm still very bullish, privacy and any infrastructure projects. Those are the two kind of sectors I want to be in. Guys, we are at 10 minutes. I want to wrap this up. I want to take one more quick question here, and then I'm going to wrap it up. I keep it at 10 minutes so you can watch these videos. I'm also going to have these in podcast form. So in the link below, you can go to my website. You can check out. I'm going to have these in an iTunes podcast so you can listen to them. Hopefully I can start putting them out every day. The last question I want to take is, Rico said, why log over linear? I always use Logman. I would Google why. I could answer it, but it'll take more time. Maximo, I'm going to end the last question with Maximo. He said, what is new with WAN chain, my man? I just spoke with Dustin the other day. I just wanted to reach out and kind of catch up with him. I didn't actually get to ask him, what are the updates? I don't even think he would share it anyways, but I'm still very excited about WAN chain. Careful, don't get too caught up in the hype of coins though, guys. Value them objectively, but I am excited. I am bullish WAN chain, so I'm excited for that to come out. Thanks everyone for throwing the questions in, guys. I can't take any more. I got to sign off. I want to keep them short for you. The goal of this is to make you more Bitcoin. That's why I'm here. That's why you're here. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Once again, like, comment, subscribe, do what you have to. I'm signing off. I'll be on Twitter. I'll see you guys hopefully soon. In the meantime, keep making that Bitcoin. Signing off, guys.